Okay, it's about the blade guide for the bandsaw again. After I did the upper blade guide with roller bearings, I also had to do the one that sits down here. And the original one was just very tiny and allowed for the table to bend this way, and I wanted to achieve this as well, but at the same time have proper ball bearing guides. And this is why I manufactured this thing here. It turned out to be a pretty complex part. Why? First thing, the housing here is not straight. It has a very small taper because the casting needed to have a tapered wall. That's 0.6 degrees, which is here at the inner part also now being done. And then the guide had to be small enough to slide in all the way into the housing, and at the same time have clearance here for this thread that is the locking mechanism for the tilting table. We needed, as here with the upper guides, also the adjustable position of the roller bearings and an additional one to have the rear guidance. I did it the same way I did it here with screws. That's in one of the previous videos. There needed to be a lot of clearance, and due to the material that I had, I decided to just bolt 3 parts together. There are a lot of bolts, a lot of holes, and now it works. So it really is tight on the blade. Okay, but as you can see, it can slide up right beneath the table. That's where the table is, and provides pretty good guidance close to the table. And if you tilt the table, it can slide all the way in and not interfere with the with this thing here, with the wheel. My goodness, has clearance there. You can adjust here, go here in the front then with these Allen key, and there's also a through hole here where you can actually reach the clamping mechanism for the rear guide. And yeah. And here you can see how close underneath the table now the guide sits. What is actually a nice coincidence is that the screws to adjust the roller bearings are still accessible without removing the table. Same with the screw here for the back support. That's nice, and I also checked if you bring the guide all the way down, then the table can fully tilt to its 45 degrees position, doubting that I really need this very often, but there will be the point in time where you need it, and then it's nice if from the very beginning it's built into the design of the bandsaw. What actually comes in really handy is this adjusting mechanism here, where you can slide the whole upper part back and forth to align the blade true to the table, although you could also set this stop here. That's also possible, how you can align the zero. This is nice because you have the 2 bearings here at the same height. You don't have to move the one a little bit more up on its excenter and the other a little bit more down to move the blade back and forth, but you can do it by moving the whole unit here, and you also keep the reference here of the back blade guide, So that is actually pretty nice. It's just one screw, but you have there some reference surfaces that allow sliding back and forth. It's not a super dovetail solution, but for that purpose, I think it's good enough. Okay, now after some adjustment, it is pretty good. How straight this blade runs to the table. I'm happy with that, and I can now start using it. And looking at what this thing can do, that is really how I needed my bandsaw to run, to be able to cut off even very small stuff out of, you know, rest stock pieces that I have, just to make more parts out of what actually is in the workshop. So that is what is also quite impressive, is the surface finish of this cut. That's also something that I'm really pleased with, and that is only because of the good blade guides that we see such a good clean surface. And I can now start using this machine after quite a long time.